Hey, what is up? I'm going to start doing a couple of these things on like auditing, looking at articles about weight loss to check validity. Now, who am I first off as you watch this series? And I'm sure I have another one up there already. So, who am I just so you get an idea of what I'm about? Get an idea that even if I have some sort of standing to do this. My name is Chris. We're an online fitness business called the Trailblazer Fitness Academy where I help people lose weight and keep it off long term. I've been in this industry for 14 years. I've worked with some of the best, smartest people that I know to come up with my own little way, my way of having people lose weight and keep it off long term. So with that being said, I've got some training. I've helped tons and tons of people. And so I want to go through these things and see what these articles are about. Because if there's some validity to them, I want to hopefully help you digest it so that you understand what it's being said. Because what I found more often than not is people are lost. They read the headline and go, oh my gosh, biology, that's something I can't control. And again, I haven't read it. So we're going to dive into it and see what we got going on up in here. First, the article is a little bit weird at the top. Has like somebody exercising all this healthy foods, yet the picture is somebody who's not incredibly fit. So I'm hoping this means that like starting it takes a long time or something. Not that no matter what, if you exercise and eat right, you're not going to lose weight. Hopefully that's not the angle, but let's dive into it and see. If you ever tried to lose weight, metabolism slows down when you lose weight. Your metabolism is the process through which your body converts your food you eat into energy. Yes. Metabolism varies per person. Science don't know everything about why that is. Totally true. Quite a bit, but not all of it, right? But we know that the part of the variation has to do with the composition of fat versus muscle in your body. True. Also varies by gender, sort of. Men have a faster metabolism because they have more muscle on their bodies. So it's not gender, it's muscle. So let's worry about that because I see often women are like, I just can't lose weight. My husband he could stop drinking soda and lose 10 pounds. And me, I have to do all these things. Like there was a thing I saw the other day. Woman's exercises for an hour every day, eats only salads for every meal, gains a pound. A guy doesn't drink soda, loses 10. Now, there's some word trickery here that I want to go over with you that is important because what they're saying here is not fully right, but it's not fully wrong either. When it comes to weight loss, weight is a culmination of everything. Hair, skin, nails, bones, water, poop, pee, fluid, muscle, fat, everything, right? Now, when it comes to you losing fat loss, men and women, identical. There's no difference in how a man and a woman loses fat. Okay. Now, on the scale, it could show different. Why is this? Women got all sorts of hormones. Not that it messes with your fat loss, because it doesn't. Okay. But that it can mess with one's ability to retain fluid. Why is it that most women have problems with cellulite and guys don't? I'm not saying that they do. If you do, it's the thing, right? But it's just subcutaneous water. So subcutaneous means under the skin. And so you have that because you have more hormones, more things in your body that can mess with your weight than a man does. Estrogen being the primary one, right? And progesterone. So men have faster metabolism because they have more muscle. That doesn't mean that women can't have more muscle and then can have a higher metabolism than men do. In fact, there's women I work with right now who have a higher metabolism than me that are older than me. Why is this? Because they have more muscle on them than I do, right? When you're 300 pounds, can you imagine? I mean, this is you, it's fine. I'm not trying to be hurtful, but I couldn't imagine carrying 300 pounds on me. My legs would be way stronger. My calves would be way stronger. For me to push out of bed, I would be significantly stronger because I have to move that load all the time. So right out the gate, kind of weird, but almost right. For everyone, resting metabolism, yep, this accounts for somewhere between 50 and 70% of total calories burned. And this is where, again, we start getting a little weird. I'm gonna hold that for a sec because that'll be huge. Thermic effect of food, the energy used to digest what you eat, yep, the physical activity makes up 30%. Personal exercise, like hitting the gym, is usually a very small portion, yep. And then mostly we're talking about energy movements around, totally true. Right? In my program, we put it into 4 buckets. We put fitness and NEAT separate because NEAT is a lifestyle thing and we can focus on burning more calories and just being more active in life. It's shown for other reasons too. right? For mental health, it's important to be more active. Calorie burn is, in some sense, proportional to your body weight. Not always true, but somewhat true. So the heavier you are, the more calories it costs to move around, and the more calories it costs to kind of basically maintain, when we start getting wishy-washy language here, even from a senior scientist, it starts getting odd. So the heavier you are, the more calories it costs to move around. Definitive, true. The more calories it costs to kind of basically maintain that body at rest. No, the more you move around, the heavier you are, the more calories it costs for you to maintain your body, period. Pretty good. Now, if you weigh less, you carry around 300 pounds, it's really hard, and you carry around 150 now, it's a heck of a lot easier. So you're burning less calories. True. But I don't see where that has anything to do with metabolism necessarily being slowed down and why it's harder to maintain weight, because at the end of the day, if you know how many calories you burn, you just adjust your food intake based on that, right? So if, let's say somebody's a football player, like you see all these basketball players and football players, after they're done playing, they all get overweight, right? It's because they're eating like they worked out for 6 hours a day and like they had 50 more pounds of muscle on them. You know what I mean? It just doesn't make, it's a really poor argument when it comes to, it's just sidestepping the main problem of just not understanding how nutrition works. If you choose to lose weight, make changes that you can live with the long haul. I agree. I'm just going to keep moving. Hormones in your brain conspire to make you hungry when you lose weight. That's interesting. So they conspire. Oh, like that word. That word is such an interesting word. It's like your body's trying to harm you. All right. Here's another diabolical change that happens. Your hormones change in ways that alter your appetite. While a lot of different hormones are involved in hunger, one of them, leptin, which is released by fat cells and basically, hate those words, basically tells your brain when to eat and when to stop eating. That's ghrelin, so no, it's not. As you lose weight, your leptin levels drop. And when that happens, it's like a starvation signal. Okay. It's like a starvation signal. A lot of times, he says, people seem to want to eat even more than they were eating before to kind of rapidly recover that weight loss. So give yourself a break. You're not a glutton. You're not hungry. And your hunger is not a moral failing. It's just hormones. So sort of true, sort of not true. So leptin and ghrelin is also a learned behavior. So if somebody continues to skip breakfast, they don't feel hungry in the morning. But if you typically eat breakfast and you don't eat it, you're really hungry. It's because it's a part of what's called your circadian rhythm. This is something that just happens over time. Like, I don't know if you remember in high school, when it was time to eat, were you not freaking starving as soon as that lunch bell went off? But 5 minutes beforehand, you weren't? It's not because hormones. It's because also hormones, yes, but it's because of the rhythm in which you eat. So if you consistently not eat food, your body can have a leptin and ghrelin insensitivity, meaning you don't know when you're hungry and you don't know when you're full. And so you eat until you literally are so stuffed, your stomach is swollen. Then you finally stop. In fact, there's an autoimmune disease, I don't remember it off the top of my head, and I'm just going to do this in one shoot because that's what I'm going to do, is I had a client that had an autoimmune disease that has a leptin and ghrelin deficiency. So if she forgot to eat, she would pass out, and she would eat so much sometimes that she would throw up because her body does not recognize or doesn't make either one. I forget off the top of my head those hormones. So not fun. So it is true, when your body is in a deficit, your body will send your brain and your fat cells will send out a signal that you're hungry. But what you do to combat that is you eat more volume. You eat literally more food, right? So you eat, instead of rice, you eat rice cauliflower. Instead of tortillas, you use lettuce. And you eat a bunch of it, like a lot. Like I'm saying, a pound of zucchini in a meal. Now, it might not be something you want to do, but if you're trying to lose weight and you don't want to feel hungry, if you fill your stomach full of food, even if you're feel hungry, it logically won't pass the vibe check. You know what I mean? You won't want to do that. Okay. And so some of these words, when it gets wishy-washy, this is where we go from biology, which should be considered like a really, really direct science, to sociology, or something that's like more subjective, right? Biology isn't subjective. It's very, very clear cut, right? You need a man and a woman to have a baby. It's not like, well, sometimes if you put two chicks together, you can have a baby. No, it's just not how it works. You need the male gametes, you need the female gametes. Bang, that's how a baby happens, right? All right, to lose weight, what you eat is more important than how much exercise. Yeah, I agree. Okay. On the other hand, exercise seems to play a bigger role in maintaining a lower weight. It's interesting. Let's see what that means. Database across the U.S. who have lost at least 30 pounds have kept it off for at least a year. Then one thing people have in common, they report exercising every day for about an hour. Okay, so it's not a causation, it's a correlation, which is fine. I'm cool with that too, right? Because is it the exercising that's the thing, or is it that people that keep weight off for over a year continue to do the healthy habits that help them lose the weight in general? I would say it's the latter. So overall, article's not too bad. I'm not a really big fan, and I'm not going to go with any of this stuff because it is what it is. I'm really not a fan of this top thing. It's like somebody reads it, and if they don't understand the context of how to read it or take it to that next level, we're left with a problem, and that problem is, oh my gosh, my biology's a bitch. It's not me. I'm perfect. I'm doing all things right. It's my biology. That's the problem. No, it's not biology's fault. It is not. Even here, and then I'm going to hop off. Even here, hormones in your brain conspire to make you hungrier when you lose weight. I'm surprised I didn't go off on this point. None of your body, none of it, zero of it, wants to conspire against you. None of it. None of you wants to conspire to do that. Okay, unless there's cancer cells or something. All right, that's just like a free radical. It's a problem and whatever, right? But your brain does not conspire anything. What your brain does is protect you. And if you can imagine us walking from New York all the way over to California, way back in the day, when you had to walk freaking really far, get in a horse buggy and go that far. To survive, we need to eat food. And so when you lose weight and you're trying to survive, your brain wants to send signals that you're hungry to remind you to eat, so that the fat stores that you have that our body loves holding on to for worst case scenarios, for extreme famine, it'll use those then. It'll use them then. It doesn't want to use them all of the time. So it might send signals if you're hungry, and it might make you achy, make you feel groggy and stuff. Maybe not even to that degree. It might make you feel uncomfortable when you're eating so much and now you're eating so little. But it has nothing to do with harming you or making you stay fat. No. It's all about survival. That's it. That is it. It's why we're the top of the food chain. It's why we're the ones with consciousness. It's why the ones we have buildings, and that's why dolphins don't have buildings, is that we were handpicked, if you want to believe it, by God to survive the best, to be the best, to have all our capacities, to have reasonable thought. We have all these things because we are designed in a way to survive and to be the smartest. Some people, questionable, you know what I mean? But for the most of us, the smartest. So none of you wants to hurt you. None of you wants to harm you. All of you wants to stay alive for as long as possible. Okay? So with all that being said, that's all I got. This article's all right. I'm not a fan of the angle it's trying to hit at to make people feel like they're out of control. Don't really like that. Some factors are within your control, but many are not. Sorry, when it comes to losing weight, all of it is in your control. All of it. When you understand how nutrition works, when you understand the roles of fitness and meat and nutrition and lifestyle and thermic effective food, when you understand all those things, it's in your control. And if you want to eat more food than that, cool. Then you have to gain muscle in order to do that so you don't gain fat. And yeah, you might not be able to eat as much as Shaq, and eating a pint of ice cream every single night is probably not something you could do. Nor is it something you should do. Just because you could do something doesn't mean you should do it, right? So that being said, that's all I got for you guys. Have a great freaking day. Hopefully you found this helpful. If there's anything that you want me to look up, put it down in the comments below. I'll do a video on it. Make sure to tag you in it. I appreciate that a ton, and I'll talk to you soon.